Habitat for Humanity is an ecumenical Christian organization. Our mission is to eliminate substandard housing conditions and to help all low-income families have a decent place to live. In Rutherford County, Habitat was founded in 1989. So in 1989 they were founded. In 1991 the first home was actually built on Hancock Street. Habitat for Humanity builds homes for low-income families that fall into the very low income range, and we use HUD guidelines, so it actually is based on the number of people who are living in the home. We also work a lot with the city. We demolish a lot of homes that are in really bad condition. We have purchased a lot of homes, and with the City of Murfreesboro's help, we've been able to demolish those and build new Habitat for Humanity homes. When people qualify for a Habitat for Humanity home, they have to be a working family. It is not a handout program. It is not a charity. These are folks who earn an honest living. They don't make enough money to qualify for a conventional mortgage. So if they qualify for the Habitat program, they work sweat equity hours. Depending on the number of adults in the family, they work 300 to 400 hours of sweat equity, working on other people's homes first and then working on their own. They also have to attend 30 weeks of homeowner education classes where they learn about budgeting, saving money, avoiding predatory lending, how to be a good neighbor, how to care for their home once they move in, because we want to make sure that they have all of the tools that they need to be successful in the home. We are currently under construction with house number 100, and we are really excited about that. That is a huge milestone for our affiliate, and we have worked really hard over the past several years on our strategic plan to get to this point. And we are excited to be building that in partnership with the Community Development Department with the City of Murfreesboro. We met Jimmy, who is the homeowner of our 100th house. We were building in the neighborhood, and there had been a really bad storm, and he was just coming over to visit, and through the course of conversation we had some mutual folks that we knew in the neighborhood, found out that this huge dead tree that was in his yard had fallen and crushed part of his roof. So Roy, our construction manager, and I went over there to visit his house and saw that it was really not a proper place for someone to have to live. It is an extremely old house, and the hole that was in the roof, this wasn't the first hole that had been there, but there was a lot of mold problems, a lot of deterioration, insulation problems, and really just kind of almost falling down around him. So our construction crew, a couple of the volunteers, went over there and helped him fix the roof, patch the roof, and his mortgage was already paid off. So we knew that probably the Habitat program wasn't going to be exactly the best fit because we didn't want to saddle him with another mortgage payment. He is an older gentleman, worked hard all his life. He is a brick mason and still does do brickwork. So I called John Callow with Community Development, told him about Jimmy, and we talked about this particular program and thought that Jimmy might be a good fit for that.
This house is a little bit different. In fact, it's a lot different. It's a totally different kind of partnership. The homeowner, Mr. Randolph, is an old friend of Habitat's. He went to Habitat and asked for assistance, and they said, well, you know, you own your house. That's a little different from the model we used to, but we know the people that you can talk to, and that's the people at Community Development. So Mr. Randolph was referred to us, and we did the intake, and we did all the things, and we said, yeah, this is a project that we can do, that we want to do, And when we determined that it should be a reconstruct project, the folks at Habitat called us up. Beth Smith called me and said, we'd like to be the contractor on this project. And we said, okay, well, do you have a general contractor's license? Yeah. Are you insured like we require all of our contracts? Yes, we are. I said, are you willing to post a performance bond? Certainly. I said, well, have at it. And so they were one of, I believe it was 5 bidders we had on this project. They were the low bidder. And so Habitat for Humanity is the contractor on this particular project. We are at Community Development, the bankers. They're the contractors. And Mr. Randolph will be the recipient of what has turned out to be Habitat House number 100. One of the things that's important to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, Department of Energy, and to the city is green building. And that's also important to our funder on this project, the Tennessee Housing Development Agency. And one of the reasons that we received this particular grant is because we got points for saying we're going to build an Energy Star house. And so what that means is that it's going to have Energy Star appliances in it. It's going to have an energy efficient water heater. It's going to have an Energy Star heating and air conditioning system. It's going to have double pane windows that fit all the standards. And what that means is that the energy consumption in that house is going to go way down.
In addition to the blue foam that you see on the outside of the house, the blue foam adds about an extra R4 onto the wall insulation. In the attic, there will be R40 of the fiberglass blow-in. And the windows are the double pane, low E coating with the argon filling inside, so they have a much better insulation value than typical windows. The doors are highly insulated as well. And we will have it really tightly sealed. So we'll find every nook and cranny and we will caulk everything. At the end of the house, there will be a test that'll actually, called a blower door test, that'll test the leakage of the house, and a what's duct blaster test, which tests the leakage of the ductwork in the heating and cooling system. All those things will be tested to make sure they're at least a certain level, and typically we far exceed the levels required to the point that we're required to put fresh air makeup supplied to the house to keep the air fresh inside the house. So typically our homeowners enjoy electric bills that are very low.
One of the things that we talk a lot about are partnerships, and we certainly have a partnership with Habitat on this project. But just within the city of Murfreesboro, we have so many different partners. When we got to the point of certifying that this was a project that needed to be done, when our partners at THDA agreed with us that this was a project that needed to be done, we were just barely getting started. Because the housing on Kerr Avenue was built before city zoning standards, the setbacks that are required by that particular zoning are all out of whack. If we had to build using the current setbacks, we would be building a house that just didn't fit in with the neighborhood, and it's always important for us to build houses that fit with the neighborhood. So that meant we had to get a variance. And so our first stop was at the planning department, and thanks to the city, we were able to take it through the Board of Zoning Appeals, get the board to give us a setback variance. The city waived the fees that are ordinarily connected with that. Once we got that done, now it's time to take the old house down. Even before we tore it down, though, the Murfreesboro Police Department used the house once it was vacant. They used it for training. The fire department wanted to use it for training. We were up for that. They just couldn't fit it into the schedule. But we've had other projects, reconstruct projects that the fire department has used for training. We'll have others that they'll use for training. And before we could tear it down, of course, we had to have a demolition permit. And Building and Codes provides us those demolition permits at no charge. Now it's time to take the old house down, and the city contributes. The Murfreesboro Street Department handles all the demolitions. I think those guys really have a good time. So the Street Department, though, helps us leverage these projects by taking them down. The Solid Waste Department is a partner because you got to get rid of the debris somewhere or somehow, and they do it. And the Rutherford County landfill is a partner because they accept the debris at no charge. We used to pay somebody to demolish houses in our reconstruction program, and we figured $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. We'd rather invest $8,000 in the house than in demolishing and burying $8,000 in the landfill. It makes for a better product, and it helps bring the city together in these projects.
Hitting the 100 mark is real exciting for us. Just hitting the mark, period, is exciting. And we're real excited that the community development program has allowed us to be part of this house as well, to be our 100th house. And all the differences in this construction process make it exciting as well. So we're learning new things and doing something that's a little bit different than our typical paradigm in Habitat.
One of the really wonderful things that I get to do as community development director, on the day that the contractor tells me that he's finished, our inspector goes to the house, meets with the homeowner and the contractor. They make their final inspection. Everybody is happy, and we sign off on the final paperwork, and I get to meet with the homeowner, and I get to hand the homeowner the key and say, "Welcome home." Boy, that just makes everything that we do worthwhile. There's a lot more to it than just building a house for Mr. Randolph. The house that we are replacing was part of the housing stock of Murfreesboro for 70, 80 years, a long, long time. It was probably substandard from the day it was built. It was certainly substandard the day that it was demolished. If that house, if the old house could be part of the housing stock and fill, at least partially fill a need for that long, how long is this new house gonna last and be an important part of the housing stock of Murfreesboro? Now, 5, 6 generations. So this is a long-term project. It's a long-term investment in the housing component of Murfreesboro, and we think it's an important. It's going to certainly be, at least for the foreseeable future, the best house on Kerr Avenue, maybe in its neighborhood. But what it's going to do is help raise the bar for all the housing in that neighborhood, and it's going to raise the bar on Kerr Avenue, the neighborhood. It's going to, we hope, be an inspiration to the people who live in that neighborhood to work for better housing.
What are you excited about with the new house?
Ooh, this porch and that back deck in the back, on the back. And these 2 rocking chairs gonna be, and I'm getting ready to retire in July, I hope. And I'm gonna sit there and rock for 2 or 3 days, and I'm going fishing, and I'm gonna sit there and rock more and wait for the mailman.